Disco Proscenium. I'm Matt.
And I'm Benji.
We're from Meow. We're here in Austin, South by Southwest. We just premiered our debut documentary film.
Oh, dang.
Oh, dang. It was good, and we just wanted to give a shout out to you.
I like it, and I hope you like it. Check it out, watch it.
I'm also excited to introduce you to the film's directors. We've got Morgan Capps and Jillian Spitzmiller. We're going to say hello, and then we'll watch the movie, and we'll have a Q&A afterwards as well.
Thrilled that you're all here. I kind of can't believe we're standing before you right now, but we're really excited for you to see our films.
And there are, the entire filmmaking team is here tonight, and many people who are in the film itself, so we are really excited for the Q&A. We hope you all stick around. There's going to be lots of good stuff. So.
Thank you very much. All right, don't forget to fill out your ballots, because this film is up for an audience award. Enjoy the movie. We're back. Once again, Morgan Capps and Jillian Spitzmiller. Come on back up here. Great job. That was fun. OMG. I loved it. OMG. Why don't you take these and maybe you can introduce some folks to us.
Great. Well, let's have the whole cast up here. The cast, we've got our founders, owners, officers, whatever we're calling them these days. Alessandra, our editor. Alexandra, our producer. Do we have Alec and Brad coming up as well, our animators and motion graphics people.
And Anna, and anybody else who worked on the film. Christina, everybody, come on up.
I'm so sorry if I missed your name.
Okay, perhaps we can pass the microphone down the line. You all can introduce yourselves and mention if you're an artist in the movie or if you worked on the movie. And we can all say hello to you.
I'm Vince Ketherbeck, I was in the movie.
Hello.
I'm Corvus Brinkerhoff, one of the co-founders. I have to say, I was in the movie. Yeah, that is one of the most trippy experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Holy shit.
Yeah, really wild to see you 10 feet tall. I'm Matt, I was in the movie.
I'm Katie, I was in the movie. Somehow, I was in a movie.
Come on down, move on down the stage so we can make room for everybody. Thanks, guys. Oh my goodness, what a crew.
We roll big.
Nice.
Hey everyone, I'm Alessandra Calsa, and I was the lead editor in the film.
Nice.
I'm Sean Diani. Does anybody else from the audience just want to get up here? Because we could fill this entire stage, really. It wouldn't be hard if everybody just got up here. I was in the movie. I was in a movie.
I am Emily Montoya. I was also in the movie.
I'm Golda Blaze. I was in a movie, and I make things.
I'm Benji. That was pretty, I think that was pretty cool. Because, it was pretty sick to look at.
I'm Quinn. That.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Renzo, and I was the producer. And also, anyone else in the back who's also in the movie that's not on stage, can you just yell real quick? There we go.
I'm Anna Dara. I'm the co-producer.
I'm Brad Wolfley, I'm the lead animator.
I'm Alec Brown, I'm motion graphics and effects.
I'm Leah Gotts, I'm associate producer. Hey, Christina Proctor, one of the writers.
I'm Seth Pullen, one of many talented DPs.
Tristan Love, one of the executive producers.
Nice, all right. Thanks, guys. You can hang on to that mic down there. I'll start off with a question for Morgan and Jillian, and then we'll open it up to the audience. I want to talk a little bit about the soundscape of the movie, because the soundtrack is so rich and so complicated, and it has music from every genre imaginable and sound effects that are running the gamut between electronics and organic, and I just loved it. And just mentioned the process of designing the soundtrack, and was that informed at all by the type of art that Meow Wolf does?
We had this amazing catalog because there are so many obviously talented musicians within this group of people. So we had this amazing catalog of music. which was amazing. But then there was this point where we were like, we really need to open it up and kind of like bring in a range of emotions and experiences. So it was kind of like this flood of adding music and sound design in the last few months of the film, which totally, in our opinion, brought it to the next level. So that was the scariest part to watch for me. Honestly, it was like watching for sound, like wanting it to be what I feel when I watch it. So that was a pretty complicated experience, but a really powerful one. I don't know.
Yeah, we had sound designers, they're called Here Kitty, and they basically put in all those great sound effects. So very little of that was done in the editing. That was a lot of, post-finishing stuff.
Well, they did amazing work, and so you too. Thank you. All right, let's see if we have any questions from audience members right here. We do have a microphone floating around, or if you just want to start projecting. Are we coming to Austin? Meow Wolf.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I guess the answer would be probably, most likely, yes. I mean, we absolutely love the city, and we spent, like, as you saw in the film, we spent a lot of time in the city. We love people of the city. We have had a house here for the last year. Like, it's beautiful, and people are beautiful. And the thing that is so fucked up about Austin is that the real estate market is insane, and we can, like, not even get traction in it. And so, like, the moment we have a spot that we like, it's like, and everyone in the audience that's from Austin understands this problem, and we're feeling it too. We think that we have found a spot that we really like, but it's not for sure yet, but we really want to be in this city. So, thank you.
Yes, and you'd be most welcome, I can guarantee you that. Who else? More questions? That was a good one. Where? Come on. Somebody can do it. There we go. What word was that? The word morph? Morph as into like change? Like as... Okay.
So if you think about like think about a bug that's climbing up a tree, like I'd say cicada style, Okay, so like when you leave that skin, think about that weird kind of biz where the beast inside, chrysalis style, is just actually liquefying and not even the same thing anymore. So it's actually like protoplasmic goo, I would say, inside. That's what I think of when you say that. Tangential. Does somebody want to like follow this up with some sort of meaningful end? But that's mostly what I think of when I hear the word morph. Thank you.
Nailed it.
Just that if we ever stop morphing, that's when the cicada turns into dust. Like, we will always keep changing, always.
Well done. All right, more questions. Okay, great, sir.
My question was specifically for the editors, DPs, and directors. What was it like taking the story of you guys' group and I guess transforming it or forming it to the story arc of a documentary? I'm just curious what that was like.
It was super hard, first and foremost. No, that's a great question because it's interesting because I feel like we made like 4 films to get to this one, which I feel like maybe other filmmakers are familiar with, but it was evolving as it was going because we have a relationship with all of these people because we love them, they're our subjects, and so the more we learned about them, the more things that happened, we were constantly going back to like our initial question of like, what is this about? What really matters here? And so the answer changed, and so the film changed over time as well, and that was a really interesting part of the experience.
Well, when you hear the artists talk about all the different processes that they went through creating the exhibits, we kind of had a parallel experience in the edit room where we went through, as Katie says, all these levels of burnout and just all these different
Tangential
incarnations.
screaming in a warehouse.
Yeah, a lot of that. But you know, when you edit a project of this magnitude with so many sources and so many different stories, it's really like a puzzle. And we just felt like we kind of constantly got guidance from this beast that we've been talking about. So the beast guided us.
Trust the beast.
Moment. Yes.
Who else? More questions? Right here, sir.
How successful have you been at not fucking up your culture?
Pretty good. I don't even need a microphone. Pretty good so far.
I mean, look at him. He's still the same.
Well, that is not entirely true. Very changed. Visually the same, mentally a whole new person. But I would say overall that is one of the things that we are, that is in the forefront of what we think about when we grow and we expand, is how do we maintain that culture, because it is the culture first and foremost that has produced everything that we've had so far. And that culture, we have to understand what that is internally, and that culture is a living thing. So it will continue to change as we move forward, but as long as we look at it and we recognize it as something that is important to us as individuals and collectively, I think that we can maintain a spirit of righteousness. I
think that the culture also for us has been like more and more kind of like distilled over time. Like, is the culture the really cold, dank, smelly warehouse? Or if like you take the warehouse out, is there still culture? And kind of continuing to do that. Is the culture like just like 100 hot glue guns? Is the culture like, you know, cutting everything by hand or cutting something with a laser cutter? Like, where does culture live? And it continues to kind of just get extracted down. And it's like culture is people, and culture is how you communicate with people, and how you treat people, and how you respect people. And so like, if it doesn't matter really what other systems or variables exist, if we can treat people with respect and with love and listen and have space for them, then we're gonna keep that culture alive. So.
Who else we got? More questions?
Having this documentary made helped you see your culture differently and see how differently?
I'm sorry. Restate the question for me.
Absolutely. That being able to take yourself outside of something and look at it will always give you a perspective to either modify it, change it, or make it better. But for us, I think taking a step out, for me personally, leaving and then coming back was an incredible way of looking at it from the outside while still feeling involved. And the documentary does that tenfold. It makes you look critically at not just the things you have done, but the things that you intend on doing and all of the moments that you've shared with these people. And to speak to the culture for just a moment, our culture is our relationships with each other. It's not the thing we make, it's laughing hysterically at 3 in the morning because you lost your mind making a thing. It's dancing so hard that you forget what time it is and that you don't feel well, and it's about losing yourself in making something that has nothing to do with who you are. It has something to do with who you are together. And the documentary is an incredible example of how far we can take that.
Great. Good question, good answer. Yes, sir, right here.
For the directors, filmmakers, at what point did you start making the documentary? What year? Decade?
I don't want that question.
So it's been a crazy fun ride, but we really, okay, this is cool. Jillian and I met a year ago today. So if that might answer some of your question. It's been a crazy process of people documenting this group for years and years, for the last 10 years. There was so much to go through. There were multiple interviews that had been done. And when the project came to us, the project was decided on. And so we had the incredible task of sorting through just, I don't even know how many hours of interviews and footage, and finding within it, you know, again, like 10 movies. Like we could have made so many movies out of what's happened to these people, what they've accomplished over the last 10 years, but it was constantly like distilling that together, and I've said this many times, but learning the lessons of the film as the filmmakers, because we were working on a timeline that was really intense. We too were working, you know, like they work in these build-outs. We're working day and night, and we're calling and texting each other at every hour, and we're crying and we're laughing and we're ecstatic and we're depressed, and so it was really emotional to do it in the amount of time that we had. But it was also like, one of my favorite quotes is, Zevin is here somewhere, in his interview he said, you know, we asked him, what was the most miserable part? What was it like at the 14th hour right before you open? And he was like, well, it's hard, but it's exactly why I do it. For that moment when I don't think I can go any further, but I do, because we're all doing this thing together and we all care so much about what comes of it. Like, that is exactly why you're there. Like, I think that energy definitely fed into the making of the film, and that came very much from our subjects, who kind of inspired us to work that hard. So.
Yeah, and in a way, I mean, all you guys made the film because you were always documenting, you know, from day one, and thank God. And as we started editing, every day someone texted, I found some footage, do you guys want it? First we were asking, nothing, and then of course, you know, starts flooding in. So thank you all for sharing all that stuff you made throughout the years.
And then on the plane today, on the way here, a bunch more people came up to us, oh, I have some footage for you guys. We'll see what happens with that.
Okay, yeah, let's do one more question and then
Hi,
we'll wrap it up.
I've got a question for you over here.
Say what?
I've got a question
Oh,
up
okay.
here.
Oh, hello.
Hi. So it has been a wonderful journey to see the growth of Meow Wolf, especially opening in Santa Fe. My question is what else do you have in store for us? What other ways of media, or what exciting new ways of sharing all your characters do you have for us?
Yeah, he's ready. I think we could all answer that because we're all so immersed in what we're doing right now. It's all we do. It was one of the most exciting things for me is actually seeing the documentary and looking back at all of those exhibits that we've done leading up into the House of Eternal Return, the exhibit in Santa Fe. And seeing how far it's come from the trash that we used to make things out of up into what is currently, in my mind, is still a pretty sophisticated exhibit in Santa Fe, if anyone has seen it. Thinking about it right now and what we are collectively ideating, what we're designing right now for Denver, for Vegas, for future markets, in 5 years from now, what we produce, we're going to look back and we're going to look at the exhibit currently in Santa Fe, which has sort of spurred our nationwide, global sort of eyes that are coming on us. We're going to look at the exhibit in Santa Fe, and it's going to look like a small world at Disneyland. We're going to look back, and it's going to look so dated because the team that we have been able to assemble and the ideas that we are currently able to imagine and we will be able to produce are groundbreaking. So what are we creating right now? We are creating a whole new world for people. That's what I'd say.
you take it from there. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, I would say that like we've gotten pretty deep into wanting to subvert, or in my mind, like subvert reality entirely. Like rather than have these alternative reality experiences just be like little blips on the radar of a reality that we all agree to. Like fuck it, let's just do this alternative realities all the time. Let's just subvert reality entirely, because the reality we have isn't like entirely. It's not very just, and it's not very fair, and it's stuck in systems that don't that don't have equality, and it's really hard to get out of that, or like not. And there's massive inequalities, and it's hard to get out of that. So like we need to subvert reality, and so how can we bring a alternative reality like House of Return to people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? There's this like there's these two variables that are very important. One, creativity is really valued in the world. Like people want creativity. They want to see awesome music. They want to watch awesome shows. They want to listen to awesome singers. They will pay money to see creativity. So if creativity is so valuable in the world, why are so many creatives not making money? There's this like huge gap between creativity being valued and creatives not being paid. Why? And like that's the problem that I want to try to solve.
Okay, any final thoughts before we wrap things up? We feel good? Everybody feels good? Let's hear it one more time for Meow Wolf and Meow Wolf Origin Story. What a world premiere. Thanks, everybody. Mark those ballots.